Okay, so after watching Fight Club for the 450th time in my life, there's a different interpretation for it every single time I watch it. It's not about fighting at all. It's just that's just the thing to get people in the door. It's about a guy who's completely lost and doesn't even realize it. At the beginning, the narrator has what most people would consider a successful life. Steady job, apartment full of expensive furniture, enough money to buy whatever he wants. He's miserable though. He can't sleep, he's emotionally numb. He checks all the boxes that society told him to check, only to realize that none of it made him happy. Then Tyler Durden shows up, and Tyler Durden is everything the narrator wishes he would be. He's fearless, confident, funny, and doesn't care what anybody thinks. Watching the movie for the first time, Tyler seems like the coolest guy ever. After you realize the twist, though, you just realize that the narrator created Tyler Durden, and Tyler Durden isn't real, and that, he just brought him up out of his own frustrations of his own life, and he couldn't accept it. I think that's why the twist works so well. It isn't there to shock you, it actually changes what the whole movie is about. Tyler isn't invading the narrator's life, he's taking it over. Every time Tyler makes a decision, it's really the narrator acting without limits that usually hold him back. One thing I noticed is that the movie doesn't really say consumerism is evil. It shows that the narrator uses that to, fill the void in his life. He treated furniture like it gave him an identity. And, Tyler tears all that down because he doesn't believe that you should be defined by what you own. Tyler does make some good points. People can get wrapped up in, chasing bigger houses, nicer cars, better jobs, and more money, thinking that automatically going to make them happy. That's something a lot of people can relate to. But the movie also shows why Tyler's mindset becomes dangerous. He starts with ideas that sound reasonable and then slowly but surely pushes it forward to where they become more and more extreme. Like Fight Club slowly becomes Project Mayhem and people stop thinking for themselves. They're following orders because Tyler told them to. It's ironic because Tyler said he wants people to be free, but then he creates a whole nother system where nobody can question the leader. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie is Tyler criticizes society for, everyone being the same and then creates a group where everybody dresses the same, acts the same. He becomes the exact same thing that he claims to hate. The movie also says a lot about loneliness. The narrator doesn't have, real relationships. He spends more time talking to support groups than he does in his own personal life. Tyler fills that emotional gap, but since he isn't real, the problem doesn't actually get solved. He's just running from himself. Marla's interesting because she seems to be the only person that actually you know, has a connection with the narrator. Problem is he keeps pushing her away because Tyler keeps getting in the way. Once Tyler's gone at the end, it's almost like the narrator can have actual human connection again, instead of hiding behind that other personality. David Fincher deserves a lot of credit for his directing too, because before you even know the twist, there's a lot of little hints thrown in through the movie, little clues everywhere. Tyler flashes on screen every once in a while in quick shots throughout the film before he's ever introduced. People act in strange ways. People even ignore Tyler completely. You don't really think much of it until you watch the movie again. What makes the movie so rewatchable is because it's like watching a new movie again because like you're looking for every different detail now, you're paying attention to every single thing, so like it just feels like a whole completely different movie. I love how the movie balances really dark ideas with humor. There are scenes that are like genuinely disturbing, but then like Tyler will say something that'll just catch you off guard, and you could see like the movie never really takes itself too serious. I mean, the ending is one of the best in modern probably movies because like, the narrator accepts that Tyler is not who he wants to be anymore, and then he accepts, he wants to live in reality instead of fantasy. Even though Project Mayhem somewhat succeeds because the buildings are exploding around and stuff, you get the idea that like the real ending is that he conquered his own life. He doesn't have to make up somebody in his mind to be a different person because he accepts who he is and that's who he wants to live as. So, what do I think Fight Club is really about? I think it's about what happens when people search for meaning in the wrong places. The narrator looks for it through, buying things, and then he looks for it through violence, and then he looks for it through Tyler. And none of those things actually work because it's all inside of him. Everything that is happening is within himself. So that's why I think the movie stayed popular for so long. It's not really telling people to become Tyler Durden. If anything, it's a warning. What happens if you let anger, loneliness, and frustration take over your identity. I mean, it's one of those movies that if you watch it over and over and over, it'll have a different interpretation every time, most likely. And, to be honest, those are the kind of movies that last for decades. So.